What's going on, y'all? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notification so that you're able to get all of my content, all of my videos. Now we back to talking about somewhat the Lakers. Okay. Now let's go ahead and hash this, right? Now it's been reports that um actually conflicting reports, because and the reason why I say conflicting is because we don't know what direction this team is gonna go. Okay, I want to give a shout out to uh, several people. I want to give a shout out to Ticket TV. If you haven't subbed to Ticket TV, definitely go sub to his channel. Always bringing day to day basketball content. One of the generals in the LDBC community. Also want to give a shout out to Two Raw for TV, um, historian of the highest order, and definitely one of the generals in the LDBC community too as well. And I'm giving them a shout out because they have pretty much have touched on this subject. And LeBron wants Mark Jackson to be the head coach of the Lakers. He would be excited, right? But at the same token, like the brothers were saying, we don't even know if LeBron is going to come back because he's not 100% sure if he's gonna sign that extension after the expiring contract. Salute to you, True Vikings. Salute to you, Alex. Um, now here's the thing, man. What's up, Jelly Bean? I see you in the building. This is the thing. You bring in Mark Jackson, okay? Now this isn't going to work unless several things happen. But the first thing I think that's obvious that has to happen is that Mark Jackson is going to have total, complete control of how he wants to do things, and that's just not going to happen. Okay, especially if LeBron is there. Okay, um, reason being is because LeBron, well, Ty Lue wanted the same thing. He wanted full, complete control of everything, and he also wanted his staff, and also wanted the money too as well. But guess what? They weren't willing to give him that much, and then also it became a thing of tug of war. And Ty Lue said, "You're not going to be able to do that." Well, if Mark Jackson goes there and decides to be the coach, guess what? He's going to experience the same thing. He's got to. He's going to have to deal with, the headache. He's going to have to deal with the drama. He's going to have to deal with, of course, the media. That's not going nowhere. And then on top of that, it's going to become a tug of war and a power struggle of whose team it is and how he's going to run things and everything. And listen, Mark Jackson is old school, but I think that he would. He's going to have that mentality of, okay, it's either going to be this guy or myself, and that's what it's gonna that's what's gonna boil down to. and I just don't see it working. Now, I don't like to sit here and doubt that it's going to work because I want Mark Jackson to coach. I want him to coach. I want him to be. I'm glad that he's being considered in it. But I think that there is also some trickery involved too as well. We all know that Mark Jackson. The reason why he's been a lot of people feel like he's been blackballed is because of his personal beliefs or his spiritual beliefs and everything. That's one of the main reasons why a lot of people feel like he's been blackballed. And I personally believe that if it doesn't work out for Mark Jackson this time, then they're going to try to spin that same narrative, and this isn't going to work, man, unless somebody gives. Something's got to give, okay? And I'm not saying that he's going to come in and be the automatic savior or anything like that, but you're going to have to let guys have their flexibility. Now, if if LeBron leaves, right? If he leaves, then we're looking at a whole nother situation. And believe it or not, I think that actually could be a little bit more beneficial. What's up with it, Kev Cook? I see you in the building. That could be really beneficial because you got to think about it. When Mark Jackson was able to spot a guy in Steph Curry, even through all the adversities that Steph Curry had went through with the ankle, all that other stuff, and when he was able to spot a guy like Klay Thompson, those guys were relatively new to the league. Okay, the team did not have any type of identity. I mean, you have guys like Monte Ellis and a couple of other guys, but for the most part, Golden State Warriors they didn't really have much of an identity. And then once they once Mark Jackson was gone, then of course Steve Kerr went ahead and took over, and then we know how the rest went. Okay, my point is that okay, him having youth, him having guys there like Austin Reeves, who I'm pretty sure is going to have money thrown his way. Malik Monk is going to have money thrown his way. I'm quite sure that if he has that young bunch right there and not having LeBron, he could actually do something. And I said I wasn't going to touch on the Lakers too much, but I wanted to talk about this. What's up with it, Joe Bond? I see you in the building, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe to For the Love of the Sport. But that would be a great job for the league if Mark gets a job. I mean, not Joe Biden, not if he comes into the drama that he did this that they have this season. Cause I can guarantee you right now, if he does not have complete control of what they're doing, it's not gonna make the league look any better. Now I wouldn't be surprised, man. There's probably gonna be some changes this summer. You already know that Steve Kerr, as well as other people, have been pushing to lower the game amount, or the amount of games to 72. Now, Joe Biden, this is my thing, okay? I don't want you to listen. Am I optimistic that this could work? Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it is Mark Jackson is old school. Now it could be a thing where because one thing that a lot of people didn't know is okay, who stood up to LeBron and who said that they weren't going to have his bullshit? It was Ty Lue. Mark Jackson got the same mentality. He got an old school mentality. Let's not get it twisted. Okay, we know Mark Jackson is spiritual, but that don't mean he won't rip in your shit. I mean, he was a point guard, and played um, in the era where the point guard was was supposed to be pretty much that leader and the extension of the coach on the floor. And not saying that it isn't this day, but it was just a lot different, especially when you talk about the way that the point guard, the prototypical point guard style of play was supposed to be played. But anyways, all right, look, he goes over there. He's not able to choose who he wants. He's not able to choose his staff. Blah blah blah. It's a recipe for disaster. They're picking and choosing who they want for him. Like I said, he's got to have complete control, and also they're gonna have to come to some sort of agreement. And I want things to work out for Mark Jackson. I want things to work out for Mark Jackson, but the likelihood of that happening, and the likelihood of him being used as a scapegoat, much like a lot of the guys that you see right now, are it's going to be a big thing. Especially, okay, he comes in there. He's a new guy. I'm gonna let you go in just a second, Joe Biden. He comes in there. He's the new guy, right? He already is pretty much. Let's just call it what it is. The Lakers are giving him a chance, right? He's already coming in there. Guess what? People are already thinking thin ice, and it could be a thing where it could go really, really great. But at the same token, you can't go to sleep on that, especially if LeBron there. So look at Frank Vogel, got a chip there, right? Oh well, what have you done for me lately? It's like they swept everything under the rug that Frank Vogel did. Some people forgot that he won a championship. That, some people don't. Some people call the championship meaningless, especially when they criticize it, talking about it's a bubble ring, da, 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 all that other stuff. You know how they feel. Some people don't respect it. So that's why it gave them more of a reason, okay, to say Frank Vogel, he's not this. Frank Vogel was never, in my opinion, he wasn't never the best coach, for the job. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. We could go ahead and slice and dice it how we want to. Now, I'm gonna let the homie Joe Bond go, but before I let him go, let me say this too. Mark Jackson coming in there and him not being able to have command on what he wants to do in terms of the staff, in terms of what he want to do, and if LeBron is there, if he decides to go ahead and sign on and everything and continue on his tenure, he's gonna have to be the one to tell him to step aside. But 9 times out of 10, it's a players' league. You know how they get down, and people whisper behind each other's back. And these guys a lot of these guys are spoon fed, and they want to do what they want. But there's other guys like a Giannis Antetokounmpo, who Joe Bond swears ain't no stuff case. He got an old school mentality, saying, "Look, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, even if it means me shutting my mouth and buying in." And the only time he was able to do that It's with Tyler. Go ahead, Joe Biden. Oh, okay. You said okay. You on the road. All right. Man, I definitely wanted to hear that boy Joe Biden talk, man. I wanted to hear Joe Biden say something, man. But anyway, man, make sure y'all go subscribe to For the Love of the Sport. Yeah, man. That's that's the only way this thing is gonna work. I mean, what you call it? Mark Jackson, he gotta have complete control of what he's doing. Uh, you know, in terms of his coaching staff. Other than that, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And another thing is are these guys going to buy in to what Mark Jackson is selling in terms of his coaching philosophy? We got to know that. Me myself personally, do I feel like it can happen? Absolutely, absolutely. But you got to have the personnel, and you can't have a whole bunch of players on there that are hit or miss or injured, such as such as Kendrick Nunn. You can't have guys like AD who can't be counted upon and show up, you know, every now and again due to them not taking proper care of their body. I mean, we gotta look at this sort of thing. And there are some people that are automatically like, oh yeah, Mark Jackson gonna be this big savior, man. Nah, I understand people being optimistic. I understand that people want to be positive about everything, but I'm not getting ahead of myself, you know. And I don't. This is another thing too. I don't want Mark Jackson to come in there. He have a second chance, right? He ends up having a second chance, and then because he didn't do a good job with the Lakers, then guess what? They end up trying to blackball him again. That's what I don't want. That's what I don't want. And it's going to be interesting to see what truly takes place. So we got to remember, man. It's been a long time since Mark Jackson has coached in this league. It's been a long, long time. Oh, let's see. Last time. Yeah, the last time Mark Jackson has coached was 8 years ago. The last time Mark Jackson has coached was in 2014. That's the last time he has coached. That's the last time he's coached. That's a lot. That's a long time, and I'm not saying it from a standpoint of, oh yeah, well, he gonna fail because he been out for a while. But I'm saying he had only he had a relatively short period coaching anyways because he ended up because he had coached for 3 years. He coached for 3 years. He had and the thing about it is too, what people had to realize is that they had what his second year he had quite a bit of a big turnaround because they made it to the conference semifinal. That second year in 20, I think it was 2012, 2013. They made it to the conference semi. Joe Bond,
Olo.
what's going on, man? What you got on it, man? I'm gonna try to keep it real quick because I know you're driving and everything.
Yeah, yeah, I'm driving, but nah, I just wanted, wanted to get in here, chop it up with you real quick, man. I love the topic, man. I love the topic. I love to see that Mark Jackson's actually getting a chance. I don't even care that it's on the Lakers. I agree that it's a lot of drama. You know what I mean? So you kind of, it's a double-edged sword, you know, but it's a great opportunity for Mark Jackson, man. It really is. LeBron's a great
Hey,
mind.
hey, hey,
I
hey,
feel
hey,
like,
I don't want to hear that just because you're a New Yorker, motherfucker.
you said what?
I said I don't want you being biased just because you're a New Yorker.
Nah, I gotta be a little biased. We all bias a little bit. You know what I
I'm,
mean, Polo?
yeah,
We all
I'm,
bias a little bit.
hey, yeah, Mark Jackson, he's New York to the core, St. John, New York, this time.
You know that. You
Yeah,
know
but go
that.
ahead. My bad, man. I ain't been interrupting.
So
Go ahead, bro.
I'm curious to ask you, do you think Russell Westbrook is gonna get another chance? Because I think with Mark Jackson, I would be curious to see how that pairing would be. You know what I mean? Because along with I know you said LeBron really hasn't been challenged. I know Ty Lue did, and they were successful. I feel like the same could be said with Russell Westbrook, where he doesn't get challenged enough or held accountable for his actions on the court because he's so talented, and they kind of just let him go. But I feel like Mark Jackson would sit him down and be like, "Listen, this is how you run the point guard position." You know what I mean? Because we all know Russell Westbrook's a great talent, and it's just between the ears that he has trouble. You know what I mean? So I feel like if Mark Jackson could have an opportunity to, hone Russell in, I feel like they have an opportunity to be successful. What do you think about that, Polo?
Well, he can't have any more trouble between the ears than James Harden has because the last time I checked, check this out too. James Harden, you know what I'm saying? If we're gonna go there, Joe Bond, check this out. Everybody talk about Russell Westbrook, and I'm gonna get to the point in just a second. But everybody talks about, oh, well, he's uncoachable. He can't do this. Okay, nobody says anything about LeBron and how he's constantly getting conflicted in the coaches, such as the coach like Paul Silas, such as the David Blatt. Even he stood his stance. Don't forget that he did get into it with Spoelstra, and he also got into it with Ty Lue, guys that wasn't going to take this nonsense or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about Russell Westbrook. Okay. Now, these
That's
people
true.
talk about, okay, yeah, this is how you play the point guard position. Look, Russell Westbrook, from the get, Joe Bond, he was never a point guard. Never had
Yeah,
the IQ of a point guard. He was pretty much a three in college, and then was thrown in there as soon as he went to the organization to try to be something that he wasn't. Now, having said all of that, check this out. All right, we want to talk about Russell Westbrook and get on him about him being able to pipe down and refocus when there's a hardcore coach around. Well, look at the situation that's going on with James Harden and Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, okay, Doc Rivers has he had his coaching deficiencies? Yeah, absolutely. But at the same token, James Harden ain't making it any better. You know why? Shooting 37% from the field. Oh man, that's horrendous. He's also shooting 30% from the field, but this is the guy. Oh yeah, man, he's an MVP superstar. Next Kobe and Shaq. Fuck out of here with that. Then also you talking about yeah, man, well, man, he's a turnover machine in Russell Westbrook. Hey, last time I checked, James Harden is second in the league in turnovers or whatever, and he fails to get it done on defense and as well as he's inefficient. My point being is
Yeah.
that the second half of the season, Joe Biden, you know this, and I know this, as well as the LWC community knows this, but they won't admit it. Russell Westbrook clearly was playing on a whole nother level. He lowered his turnovers down, I think, just a little bit under two a game, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the stats right in front of me. And on top of that, he was shooting 50% from the field. And on top of that, he was shooting well above 35% from three pointers too. And on top of that, he was doing an excellent job of just being efficient or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he showed strides. Y'all wanted him to. Oh well, Russ, you know taking the fall, being the fall guy. Everybody finger pointing to you. And it was a madhouse anyway. Look, he had. My point is, Joe Biden, not to get too into. He went in there and he said, okay, I'll do whatever it takes necessary to make that change. A guy like Mark Jackson, he'll be able to do that, but we don't know if he's gonna be there. They looking at Charlotte right now. Russell Westbrook right
Yeah, I know. The pairing with him and LeBron is tough because to me, exactly what you said is spot on, Polo. Because LeBron, he's able to not play defense and not be held accountable because he's such this high figure and high status in the league. So he feels like he's above the coaches and sometimes even the franchises. You see that he has a vice grip lock on all these franchises because he's always having short term contracts. So if they don't listen to him, he's gonna leave. So it's a great point that you said that. How about LeBron? How come we don't hold LeBron accountable? And with Spoelstra, we see Spoelstra as a top 15 coach all time. Ty Lue, amazing coach. So LeBron has had great coaches where LeBron feels that he's smarter and he cannot be held accountable. So it does start at the top, Polo. So you're absolutely right. LeBron is the head of the snake. So if LeBron is not being held accountable and he could lack off on defense, what are the rest of the guys going to do? They're going to lack off on defense too. And the way LeBron is, we've seen it a lot of times. This guy, he'll miss switches, he'll miss guys, he'll get backdoored, and he'll yell at his young guys, talking about why didn't you help, bro? That was your man. So LeBron is always pointing the finger, and to me, I don't really like his leadership. People say that he's a great leader. To me, I see a lot of pouting, a lot of finger pointing, and a lot of passing the blame on. Because LeBron is so great that he can't be the problem, but it starts at the top, and LeBron is the leader over there. So if he's not playing defense, if he's turning over the ball, if he's careless, he's chucking up threes, what are the other guys going to do? They're going to do the same thing, Polo. So I think it's a great point that you said. It's true. LeBron is the head. So if Mark Jackson has to deal with LeBron and his antics, it might be a shit show again because Mark Jackson commands respect. But if LeBron doesn't respect him, it's going to be a shit show. Polo, I agree.
now. I go back to the point you made. What's up with it, Big Who? I see you in the building. Now, check this out. A very valuable point that you did bring up about Mark Jackson. Now, about him sitting down Russell Westbrook. Yes, Russell Westbrook is going to listen to a guy like Mark Jackson because guess what Mark Jackson was? He was a true point guard. He's a prototypical point guard. He's a pass
Yeah.
first type of guy. You know, Mark Jackson sitting up in there dancing as he makes a beautiful assist. You know how he do. New York's finest, you know. But the thing about it is that Mark Jackson understands what it takes to be in the league as a point guard. Now, am I going to say that all of Mark Jackson's intellect is going to spill over into a guy like Russell Westbrook? No, that's not what I'm saying. Now let's let's minus Russell Westbrook for a second, Joe Biden. Okay, let's just
Okay.
pretend that Russell Westbrook is not there. Now you have a guy because I think what's his name, Kendrick Nunn, is exercising his option. from what I hear. He's supposed to be exercising his option. And LeBron, we also got to look into that too, because LeBron has told some close sources that and shout out to Ticket and True Rock for reporting this, that he told some people that he might be leaning towards not signing it with next season.
Yeah, you know, LeBron's a shrewd operator.
And like I said, if you do that, Joe Biden, I don't want to hear none of this stuff. Not from you, but I'm talking about from other people. Oh well, man, LeBron, you should put him up in the Mount Rushmore of Lakers and all this other stuff. Kareem didn't run. Kobe didn't run. Magic didn't run. Wilt didn't run. Jerry West damn sure didn't run. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
sure
that
did, man.
that's what I'm saying.
They like to beat.
Yeah,
They like to beat the best. They don't like to play with the best all the time.
right, exactly. So, but anyways, I'm not trying to make this topic about LeBron. But to get back to your point, my thing is this though: it has to work. Just going back to the whole thing that I said in the beginning, Joe Bond, it has to work for Mark Jackson in order for him to have complete control of that team. They have to come to some sort of agreement, and that's going to be with the front house. Hell, Joe Bond, my last point. When you talk about LeBron being the head, fuck that. I'm gonna go above that. You need to be talking about Jeannie, who has no clue what the fuck she's doing in terms of personnel, all that other stuff. She's just about marketability and all that other stuff. You see that in the movie. And on top of that, Rambus and the Rambuses like Kurt and Linda, man, they need to get their ass out of there too. And Rob Palinka, I mean, he's done decent in terms of drafting and stuff like that. But man, that we need to be addressing and assessing that. What you think about that, Joe Bond? What's up with the Steve Green? I see you, Phil.
Nah, it's true, man. There's a lot of incompetence over there, Polo. A lot of incompetence. You know, they really he got the job because he was Kobe's guy. You know what I mean? So it was an easy match. You know what I mean? Linda, that's Jeannie's best friend, and that's how you know what I mean. That's how it ended up happening. So we know they don't really know about basketball. They just kind of were born into it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the elite of the elite, Polo.
That's
Like
fact. That's
you know
fact.
what I
That's
mean?
fact. That's fact, Joe Bond. Them motherfuckers was
You know what I'm
grandfathered in.
saying?
Them motherfuckers was grandfathered in.
Exactly,
Okay.
bro.
Hey, but you know what though, Joe Bond? And I'm gonna let you go in a minute, Stephen Green. But Joe Bond, hey, check this out. You got a business, right? Let's say you running a team, right? And I'm your friend. I would hope Joe Biden would tell me the truth. Be like, look, Paulo, you fucking up for real. I ain't gonna be like, no. I wanna, man, tell me if my breath stinks. Man, tell me if I'm fucking
Facts.
up, man.
Facts.
Man,
Tell me I got something in my teeth. Don't let me
yeah,
embarrass myself.
yeah, man. Unless you don't want to get a bride, you don't want me to get the bride that you get. But anyway, now the thing about
Right,
it is, I'm
right.
like, God damn, man, let me know something. And that's it. Seems like,
Facts.
oh, they afraid to let everybody know. What you think about that?
I think it's true, man. They passed the buck, man. They passed the responsibilities off. You know what I mean? They try to hire better help, and they pass off the responsibilities, bro. They don't know what they're doing. They're here to collect the check and you know, receive all the benefits of being the Laker. You know, the heads of the Lakers, man. They're not basketball heads, man. I mean, Kurt Rambis, of course he is, but I don't know, man. I don't understand what Kurt is doing over there.
He's
He's
done
not
a
doing
shitty
much,
job.
man.
He's done a shitty job. He ain't even
Yeah.
do it. Hey, you know this, Joe Biden? You with the Knicks?
Yeah, bro. I don't
Come
know
on,
what's up with
man.
him,
You
man.
know what
He's
ain't
been
good, man.
terrible.
What he's over there?
He's been terrible. But my last point before I get off, I think
Mm-hmm.
Mark Jackson's a great communicator. You know what I mean? He's able to reach the guys. You know what I'm saying? On a real on a like below the surface level. You know what I mean? So he could communicate, and you can receive that information and that you know, I don't know how to say it, but like Russell, like this, have the tough talks with him. You know what I mean? Have the tough talks with LeBron and call him out, and them not take it as disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Because Mark Jackson is one of the guys from where we came up from. So he's been around that grit, that grind, so he can communicate better. And he's a he's a pastor, he's a preacher, da da da. So I feel like his communication skills are gonna be in the forefront of things, and it's gonna really matter, man. I think he's gonna be able to you know communicate and give his points and not Russell wouldn't feel like he's disrespected or LeBron because he knows, Mark Jackson loves those guys. You know what I'm saying? And he appreciates them. So when he's giving them hard talks, I feel like the message is going to be received better
check
than a
this
Vogel. You know what I mean?
check this out, Joe Biden. Before you go, I just had to throw this out there. You probably already noticed, but I want people to know. They're like, if they thinking that Mark Jackson, his credentials ain't worth. Now, when he first got to go to state, hey, look, he missed the playoffs. Wasn't that good. He only coached 66 games. Guess what? That very next year, in 2013, guess what? Man, they were second in the Pacific, and they made it all the way to the Western Conference semis. And he had a winning percentage of 573. And then in his final year, Joe Biden, he got even better before he was just cutthroated by the motherfucking beat, and he was at 62.2% win percentage, even though they lost in the first round. But overall, he's had a 52.6 percent winning percentage. Well, he was above 500, so he made a good turnaround from his first year to the second year, and then to the third year. So his credentials speak for themselves. For themselves.
That's true. Polo is true. Like Mark Jackson, he made them boys play defense. I think he created the elevator screen for Steph Curry. I've never seen no shit like that before that. I've never seen no elevator screen. This motherfucker's coming up with plays we never even seen before and had these two shooters going crazy. They turned the league on their heads, Polo. And then Steve Kerr gets the good old boys, and we go again. He gets blessed into another beautiful situation. If he would have went to the Knicks, Polo, Steve Kerr would have a job right now.
Yeah, the only thing that we could give Steve Kerr the credit for, and then I'm gonna let Stephen Green go and everything. The only thing that we could give Steve Kerr credit for is he's made some quite a few good adjustments down the stretch and develop with the development of the flow offense. But in terms of the discovery of the personnel of the Golden State Warriors, got to give it to Mark Jackson, man. Anybody that sit up here and say that he wasn't responsible for somewhat of the foundation of Golden State, man, you got to be smoking.
Being disingenuous, Polo. But love talking with you, man. I'm gonna get to it, man. I gotta get back at it, man. I'll talk to you soon, Polo. Appreciate you.
All right, yeah, all right. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the For the Love of the Sport with the boy Joe Bond, New York Spine, man. I'm gonna holler at you, bro.
Peace.
What's up with it, Stephen Green in the building, man? Lean me, Stephen Green. You know we got to tackle today. I know you've been itching to talk about players, Mark Jackson, everything. Come on, man.
Man, salute to y'all, man. Salute to y'all, man. I just got off of work. I missed a half of your show, but Mark Jackson, I gotta say,
we heard. We ain't going nowhere, nigga. We heard. We heard. You know, that nigga Steven said, man, they sleeping on me, man. So hey, I'm gonna make sure that they don't go to sleep. Hey, when y'all motherfuckers up in there sleepwalking and shit, guess what? I'm wide awake with a pot of coffee.
Mike Jackson is a good coach. He's the best of them best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see him with the Lakers. I would like to see him with Philadelphia because if the Lakers get him, they're going to like get a deal with him, this and that. I don't think they'll give him a time to rebuild that team to be a winning team. I think they're gonna be like a push like Golden State. He needs somewhere that is gonna take his time to rebuild, get the players, and I don't think Lakers a good fit for him. Like a team like Philly would be a good fit for him, which is already set. They're winning, but add a little season to the flavor. Mark Jackson's the answer, but he's not the answer for the Lakers. And then LeBron's leaving, probably Russ. I don't know about AD. You
Mhm.
got to build to scratch. And who knows when the Lakers gonna be back winning? I don't think it'd be a good fit for him. He's a good coach.
Mhm.
He got a good record with Golden State.
Right.
But when he almost took him to the championship, they gave him a raw deal, and I think that's what's going to happen to the Lakers.
Mhm. Well, I, it's like I said earlier, man. His credentials, they speak for themselves. Now you
Right.
do got now one thing I didn't talk about. Now we talked about Russ and we talked about LeBron and everything, but you brought up a good point about AD. That's that would be interesting. That's provided that AD even stays there because for what it's looking like, we hear all the rumbling that's going on right now, Stephen. Man, it's like okay, you know, it's been dominating the headlines. Is LeBron gonna go? Is he gonna stay? You know what I'm saying? Is Russell Westbrook gonna go to Charlotte? Is AD gonna go to New York? All this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Look,
Right.
I'm if we got rumblings like that going on, man, shit, man, just blow the whole thing up. You know what I'm saying? Because start off fresh, start off new. Because this is the thing. My last point, Steve. I don't want Mark Jackson to come in there, right? Because pretty much, let's just call it what it is, man. He's on thin ice with the league. I mean, come on, man. They gave him the job and everything, but at the same token, it's like,
Right.
damn, shit. He's coaching pretty much on eggshells, pretty much. So if he got one shot to do this right, everything, and if he does it right, hopefully it'll lead to many more jobs. But at the same token, it could be like, oh yeah, well, Mark Jackson was such a failure. No, 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 no. Next thing you know, that could be the end of his coaching tenure, and I don't want that to happen. See that happen?
Yeah. And you know what would be a good fit for Mark Jackson? It would be a good fit for him to go to OKC.
Mm.
Because that's one LeBron choices of going there. Maybe his Russ contract's up too. Maybe he'll go back to Oklahoma. And then they got so many draft picks. That would be a good opportunity for Mark Jackson to go. OKC, man.
Russ trying to win the championship, though. Steve, go to OKC, man. They got a long way to go, man. Like, I think Russ
Yeah.
is trying to win a championship.
Well, he ain't gonna win in Los Angeles.
It'll be tough.
And I say he got about I say Russ got about 3 years left.
What 3 years as far as playing wise?
Yeah,
Mm, I think he got a little more than that. A lot of people. Russ really haven't been really getting hurt as much. Now, I I could agree with you on that by this. Okay, by this theory though, and by putting this in perspective, Stephen, he did play with the injured hip that nobody talked about. So could that be? We got to ask ourselves, could that be a letdown for him going forward?
right. Right. And Frank, he's gonna have a coaching job. He was him to I think with the players, uh, defensive
You
coach,
breaking
and
up a little bit.
he, can you hear me?
It
Can
just sounds
you
like
hear me?
that situation to be with your phone.
I'm trying. Hey, I've been working on it, man. I've been working
Okay,
on
now
it.
yeah, I know. I know. Like it'll be good for like the first 20 minutes, and then it's like, oh shit. Now, what did you say? Repeat everything you said.
I was saying Frank Vogel is a good defensive coach. I don't think he was the cause of that team to have a losing season. I think it was the players, the coaching staff,
Mhm.
um, telling him the moves, how to make it, when to make it. To me, They didn't let him be a coach, and I think he has an opportunity off season that some team gonna snatch him,
Right.
and he's gonna be got a coach whoever he coaches.
I mean, Frank Vogel, man. Because he was in Philly, remember,
Right.
and
Hmm.
you know, look, I give him credit as far as the defense. I think he was a good, a relatively decent offensive coach too. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the personalities for this team, he didn't mesh well with the personalities, especially having three guys, well, actually four guys. The egos are through the roof. Not so much Melo because I think Melo has kind of settled into understanding where he's at in this stage of his career. But like, come on, man, Frank Vogel, he wins the championship, whether it's a bubble ring, whatever type of ring you want to call it. They still raise the banner in that bitch. Okay, then going into the
Right.
very next season, you got a whole bunch of people hurt. You know what I'm saying? You got people riddled, riddled with injuries, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They were hit with haymakers, and then this season it was the same damn situation or whatever. And then on top of that, it seemed like the majority of the time it was either AD as a fall guy, Russ as a fall guy, or Frank Vogel as a fall guy.
Yep.
So it what I'm saying is it was a recipe for disaster, and I think he was over it anyway and stuff. And that's why he was pissed off. That's why what's his name didn't even want to come over there, Steven Quinn Snyder. Not that he gonna make the world any better, but Quinn Snyder didn't even want to come over there because he saw the way that Frank Vogel was let go.
Well, the Lakers should get somebody within the system to be the next coach. Fishdale, and get one of the assistants to be the coach. Get somebody within the system.
Hmm.
Wouldn't that be better?
Um, I don't think Fishdale, man, and I like Fishdale, but I don't think that will work out either. I don't, I don't see that happening either because man, they need a coach. They need a coach that's actually going to walk in with some sort of that presence, that aura. Mark Jackson walked in with he, people have been screaming for Mark Jackson for how it's been 8 years since Mark Jackson has been coaching, and that's all we've been talking about. Steve. He had coached the
Right.
game since 2014, and people been like, "I want Mark Jackson. I want Mark Jackson. I want Mark Jackson." Ain't nobody talking about Fishdale. Look, hey, I salute to the man, but ain't nobody talking about Fishdale. I like Fishdale too, but he had his chance, man. I
The
mean,
Lakers, like I said, the
he
Lakers are the type of team.
he ain't no Alvin Gentry and that. You know what I'm saying? But come
Because
on.
because because the Lakers,
Uh,
the Lakers is not gonna be,
you breaking up.
Dang, the signal is bad over here.
Oh, now you good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm saying Lakers, like, they don't give a coach the time to develop, and I'm afraid for Mark Jackson. As soon as he gets the team good, they gonna still
Mhm.
fire him the same year, and then whoever coach after him gonna win the championship off his team.
Right. I mean, you're hearing conflicting stories because on one end they're saying, "Oh yeah, well, we want LeBron there." Then on another end, I mean, sorry about that. On one end, you're hearing, "Okay, LeBron wants Mark Jackson there," and then on another end, you're hearing that LeBron is leaving. So I'm like, damn, which one, which one is it?
Right. Hey, Polar, I want you to write this down, man. There's a future NBA player is coming up, and his name is Keontae George. He's a good player. He played in the training camp where USA gets against the world. That
Oh
man's a beast.
yeah, I was looking. Yeah, I was looking at that game a little bit. I was also Keontae George.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what's his resume though? Like,
He went to I think he went to school in high school in Texas, and
oh, okay. So he's from
and
Texas.
I think so. It is said when they were showing him that he went to school in Texas, and he's looking going to Duke, and he's looking to go into Kentucky or Oklahoma.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to look that up because you're talking about Duke.
Yeah, that's his choices of where he to go to school.
Hmm. Wow. So he's nice, man.
He's nice, man. He's nice. Like
What
I
is
said,
he?
he played.
A guard?
Go ahead. You said now?
Is he a guard? Is he a guard?
Yeah, he's a guard. I say he about 6'4", 6'5".
Hmm.
Cause he played. It was like the world, like from like high school players
Yeah,
from
yeah,
different countries.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
saw it. Keontae George. Let me look at. Yeah. Let me look at him. That's where he from. Yeah, because he's at IMG right now.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute, man. He from here,
Yeah.
man. He from Oh snap! Wow, yeah. He from Louisville. Yeah, he committed to Baylor.
Okay.
Yeah, he committed to Baylor, man, and he got a gold medal with Hungary. Wow,
Yeah.
man. I can't believe I didn't know who that was, man. I usually keep. Yeah, man, and he's a McDonald's All American.
Yeah. He's gonna probably go do like a one and done.
Hmm. Yeah, because he was in Florida um at IMG Academy. Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm just shocked I didn't know my product, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely are keeping to keep a lookout for him, especially being that he's from this area and everything. Yeah,
And
so
the base. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, bro.
You was talking about the base from Memphis, and I saw a couple of highlights of him, and he's pretty good. You
Hmm.
think he's ready to go pro? You think he should stay another year?
Nah, he'll need to stay another year, but I think like last year was um to me last year was kind of him coming out of his shell, so to speak, because he was in the fire. You know what I'm saying? He was on a big stage and stuff, and him being a freshman, coming in and having that little taste of what it was like to be on a stage like that. I think it kind of woke him up. So you're gonna see just a monster coming in next season, and if he dominates, Stephen Green, that's it. Like I think I told, it might have been Hitman X, man, about Imoni Bates. I'm telling people, man, look out for Imoni Bates. I've been telling people that for a long time. Yeah, and he will be an NBA talent. Everybody talk about all this Chet Holmgren and all that other stuff. Look, Imoni Bates. I mean, Chet Holmgren ain't got shit on Imoni Bates.
Yeah. Yeah, if he come back next year, I don't want that team to be on probation because I want to see because I think Memphis is going to be the team that's going to be in the Final Four. They got the talent and the coach to do it, and Bates, his game gonna be better.
What about Michigan?
Um, now I heard talks that the Lakers are looking at Juwan to be the coach, but I don't know if he going to go with the Lakers or.
I had a that's I had talked about that, but from what I hear, I think he's leaning towards signing with back with Michigan. Though.
Oh,
That's what I heard. That's I think Alex was saying that, if I'm not
oh,
mistaken. But I don't, I don't know. But that you're right about that. Though the Lakers, they've been interested in him, and they've been interested in Rondo.
yeah, yeah. If those coaches do land, you think LeBron going to change his mind or staying with the Lakers?
Mm, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Because, but at the same token, I don't know because LeBron wants older players. He wants older players that know what they're doing. That he wants players that he don't have to teach. That that's that's who he wants around him.
You,
You know.
you think you think that's a right chemistry? You think that they should mix some of the young guns with the veteran players because they couldn't because what I saw for the Lakers playing they couldn't keep up with the younger guys.
Nah, they. I mean, the younger players could, not the older ones. And see, but see, Stephen, man, I don't know. I just think different. And because of the basketball I've seen, I don't really give that a pass. Like, oh yeah, well, man, they were older. So, like when Charles Barkley talk about, this team was old as dirt. They need WD-40 and all this other bullshit. Nah, that ain't no motherfucking excuse, man. Because
Uh,
older teams have gotten it done in the past. It's just like you got to play. You, you have to play the right way. When you're older, listen, 9 times out of 10, you don't have the athleticism. When
right.
you're older, you might not have as much of the stamina as you once used to. And when you're older, you know that uh, father time father time has kicked in, and you could probably you're more susceptible to injuries.
Right.
You could the injuries are more likely. So with those three things, right? Check this out, Stephen Green.
Right.
Listen, the Spurs, they were able to combat that. You know why? They were able to make up for physical with their intellect. They was able to make up with not having athleticism with their intellect. They was able to make up for them maybe not having that much of talent anymore with their intellect. And see, that's the key thing. LeBron wants to sit up there and run and jump out the motherfucking gym at 37 goddamn years old. Yes, it's a blessing to do. But think how many problems you had. You had problem with your knee, problem with this, problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to sit up there running, playing a style that you want. Look, no, Dennis Rodman, guess what he was doing? Yeah, he was diving on floors and all that other stuff, but he was committing deep and he was doing other intangibles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan, as he got older, he started to realize, look, I got to work on the intangibles. Wilt Chamberlain, he started to work on the intangibles and stuff like that. if all those guys had that same mindset like the Dallas Mavericks did when they won their championship against Miami and everything, or like the San Antonio Spurs did,
Right.
they they would be just fine. But they don't do that.
Right.
Everybody playing for themselves, man.
That was just like the old Boston Celtics when they won that championship in '86.
Hmm.
When they had Harris McHale, Bird, DJ, they was getting older into when they ran up to Detroit.
Hmm.
Detroit had um they had not only veterans but they had younger players, and I guess that was Boston. It caught up with them.
Right. Well, you got they also won it in the '60s too when they were older.
Right.
The Boston Celtics they won it when they were older. I mean, I don't never I don't ever look at that Stephen Green like that age stuff, man. I don't know. I guess like I'm I'm built different or something like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I know that time is eventually gonna catch up with you? Yeah, absolutely. But you step foot on the floor, right? You step foot on the floor, so there's no excuse.
Right.
But you gotta play. You gotta play championship. Like the 97, 98 Bulls, they was old. Everybody act like the 2013, the 2012, 2013, um, the 20. Well, I think it was. Hold on. No, it was '06. The '06 '07 Spurs.
Right.
They were. Hold I'm trying to look at the older. Okay, look. The average age. Check this out, Stephen Green. The average age of the Chicago Bulls was 32 years old in '97 and '98.
Right.
And
Jordan Jordan was about 32 at that time, right?
yeah, and Rodman was like 38. You know what I'm saying? So there's no. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear none of this stuff. Guess what the average age of this team is, Stephen Green?
What's the age?
It's 30. Oh, but they old. They old. They old. But, you see what I'm saying? Chicago had an average age. That's 2 more years, man. Oh no, they old, man. You got to do that shit. Well, if they old, then the motherfucking Chicago Bulls is ancient.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't feed into all that old stuff. The what's it called? Hold on. The six who was it? It's the 68, 69 Celtics. They
Right.
were older than the Lakers.
It's still
Hold
in
on,
championship, man.
hold on, Stephen Green. My bad. Hold on.
All right.
My bad, Stephen Green. Yeah, but they make all these excuses about these guys, man.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why, like, I never really just sat up there and been like, oh yeah, well they're old, they're old, they're old. That's not an excuse. There are teams that have been older than these guys and were still able to get it done. The Dallas Mavericks were older than them. They were 31 years. The average age was 31.6.
Hey, Polo, did you ever play sports when you was in high school?
Yeah, I played sports in high school and I played after high school.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I played
I
sports.
think you probably played football.
Nah, basketball. Hold on 1 minute though, bro.
Uh,
Okay, now yeah, I played in in an independent league in Texas and in Mexico.
okay.
Yeah, so it was right after I got done with Job Corps. I ended up going to college, and I actually was supposed to go on scholarship, but when I got there, they had told me I was ineligible. It wasn't because of my grades. That's what I didn't do. I didn't fill out the clearinghouse form,
Right.
and but when they looked at my grades or whatever, they said, "Man, you're shown as being ineligible." Well, that's when I ended up. They had tryouts at the same. It was at the same in the same area because when you go, all of the college, all of the college uh, athletes, they worked out with the guys that was semi-pro, and some guys that came down for professional. Well, they was holding a tryout for the semi-pro professional team, and went out there,
Okay.
did my thing, and the rest was money, man.
I get that. I
Yeah.
get that.
So
I played baseball when I was in high school.
oh, you play baseball? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I played. You said that?
Where's your shortstop?
I was third. I was pitcher and third base
Hmm.
because I went to the city schools, and city schools don't have. It's hard to have. It's hard to get people to play sports when you're in the city school.
Hmm.
But when you're in the county schools, everybody they start from recreational, and then everybody start playing in sport. Like they had more sport people on teams than they did in the city.
Right.
Um, the only thing the city was good in was basketball. They wasn't good in football. They wasn't good in baseball. The counties was good in they was good in football and baseball,
Hmm.
but they was okay in basketball. And we would win like 3 games a year. We made it to the playoff once. And sometimes like when we played, we was always shorthanded because we didn't have the support for baseball. And we have like maybe 1, 2 pitchers, and sometimes you have to take somebody from their position to pitch.
Hmm. So that's your first love is baseball.
My first love was basketball, and I kept trying out for the team. I kept getting cut, I was too small. I was too small for football, so I went try for baseball, and I made the
Mhm.
team.
That's weird because a lot of baseball players are tall.
Because I'm only 6'1".
Right. Well, by some, but by some people, they consider 6'1". You may hear over. They could, but see, that's the thing. Most baseball players that you meet, they be like 6'5", 6'6".
Right.
Yeah, 6'4" and all that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I had scholarship. I had a scholarship to go to Virginia Union University.
Mhm.
I went there for a couple of months. My mother, she had colon cancer.
Oh man.
I I dropped out because I was concerned about her health. So I dropped out of college.
Mhm.
Then after she recovered from her colon cancer, I did 2 years of trade school while I was in school. Then I did a
Mhm.
year of trade school um, after I dropped out of Virginia Union.
Right. Right. Right.
And I took up costing, auto mechanics, and graphic communication.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. Sorry to hear about your mom, man. My mom,
Right.
she fought. Oh, right.
Oh, go ahead. My phone was acting up. What you were saying?
No, I was just gonna tell you that my mom, she was fighting for her life too, man, because she had her stint with cancer too as well, but she was able to ring the bell, man. She was able to ring the bell. Her and my wife, actually were able to ring the bell. So, it's been my whole attitude is, fuck cancer, man. You know.
So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
They
You know
said,
why? I'm not because we beat the battle. So it was a
right,
battle that's why like I never like when my mentality is different. Like I said, when somebody says, "Oh yeah, well I'm sorry to hear that" or something like that, you know that's my mentality. It's like well
so
shit. I'm not sorry about it. You know what I'm saying? Because we made it through. You know what I'm saying? We pulled through. What's up, Matt? I see you in the building.
like, they
You know.
gave my mother, like when my mom after she had the surgery, they gave her 3 months to live when they took out her
Mhm.
colon, and my mom still standing strong.
Yeah, exactly, man. See them doctors, man. No. Yeah, well, what we're gonna have to do is diagnose you with, like, well, the only one that knows is the Most High. You know,
I
that's the
can't wait.
only.
I can't wait to see the. I can't playing game tonight.
Yeah, man. I was trying to go live, man. I said if I make it a time, I'll try my best to go live, but it just doesn't look like that's gonna happen, man. Because I'm swamped up with too much busy stuff, man. But yeah,
Right.
that's gonna be a big thing, man. Or like, who you taking, man? I know you said
I'm taking Charlotte and Brooklyn. I'm taking Charlotte and Brooklyn, and I'm taking
mhm.
the T Wolves and the Clippers. No, the T Wolves and the Spurs.
Yeah, I'm about to say because they
The,
play each
the,
other.
yeah, and our Sixers, we in a good spot. We are in a good spot, but Toronto is tough. If we can beat them, we can beat Miami. We match
Mhm.
up with Miami, but we're in a good spot with the 4 and the 5. I can see it go to game 6 or 7 with
Right.
with Philly.
Hmm. Uh, Steven, my problem with that, man, is that it goes back to what everybody's been mentioning. It's got to be Harden's got to play, and it can't just be offense, man. It can't just be offense.
He-
It can't. It can't just be offense, man. It's got to be defense. And it's got to be. And listen, if he shoots, let's say Harden shoots inefficient. Okay, look, that's fine. But okay, where's the effort on defense? If you're making an effort on defense, then okay, I'll give you credit for missing shots. Because Kobe would be inefficient sometimes, but guess what? He made up for it with the defense as opposed
right,
to shooting or whatever. Or you couldn't fault Kobe because guess what? He was running up and down with everybody. He was committing to getting back on defense when he could and stuff like that. So if he came down and he's playing just as hard on defense as he is on offense, then I can't sit up here and oh yeah, well at least the man is playing. At least he's exerting just as much energy on defense as he is on offense. I mean that's the way I look at things. But if you're sitting up there shot jacking and then you're forcing turnovers and then you're not playing any defense, then we having a different conversation.
yeah, and LB too. I want to see how he. Yeah, because he's going to be the key for us of how we advance. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?